Hi listeners, I want to reach out to you personally and let you know that this was the first show recorded live at the Bidchat studios. That said, the audio quality isn't that great, so I wanted to give you a heads up. You can continue to listen to the show in its entirety, or you can watch our show on bidchat.com/grantsrants. Moving forward, the audio quality will be fixed, and the next episode will be just as clear as all of the others. If you want to watch us live, you can watch us there on Bidchat at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. Thank you for all the support, and let the ranting begin.
Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants, Hollywood Talk.
Does Hugh Hefner have one foot in the grave? Real Housewives of Orange County goes crazy with a fight in Dublin. Selena Gomez heads to rehab, and we look at which celebrities, dead and alive, are making bank this year in 2016. That and more in this special Bidchat episode with Christy Olson now. Let the ranting begin, and welcome to Grant's Rants Hollywood live on Bidchat. For those of you listening on the podcast, we're finally live on Bidchat, so you better check us out over here. I am sitting next to host and reporter Christy Olson.
Hello, everybody in Bidchat land, and hello, Grant. Thank you for having me on your big premiere.
Thank you. Well, Christy is from episode 1 of the podcast. We're on 38 episodes of the actual podcast, so we'll continue.
We've had some fun there.
Yeah, and it's going to continue, of course. But I thought, well, who am I going to have on but the first guest of the first show, now the first live show. So here she is.
Hello, yeah.
I'm really glad to have you here. And we're splitting a bottle of champagne because it's been a long road.
This is true. You've been talking about coming to Bidchat for quite a while. Yeah. We're all so excited to see you finally here.
Well, thank you.
Cheers to that.
Yes, cheers to that. And we're grateful to the Bidchat studios for hosting us and keeping the show going for us. It's great.
Hey, cheers to you, Bidchat. Yeah. Hey, Darren over there. We see you.
So let's get talking. Now, Christy, it's been a while since we've had you on the show, so we have to get caught up. But first of all, let's talk about a few things. Whole TV thing has started up now for the fall. What are you watching? I know that you have your shows, so what are you looking at?
Well, you guys all know that I have the guilty pleasure of the trashy reality TV. I love it with a capital L.
Well, then you're in the right place.
That's right. So I've been checking out, for the first season, actually, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I've jumped in here on this third season, and I'm loving that.
I think that's as trashy as it gets.
It definitely is, but you know what? It's Hollywoody. It's just Hollywoody enough to make it worth my while.
Yeah.
So I love that one. Total Bellas just started. I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. I love Nikki and Brie. That one has been so good. Total Divas is my favorite reality show of all time. So that I finally got my favorite characters in a spinoff. So I'm watching Total Bellas. As far as scripted goes, I always love How to Get Away with Murder. I know that has started up, but I have to be honest in that I haven't caught up yet.
Yeah, I'm a little behind it a lot. I mean, it's just too much going on. There's a lot of TV at once,
Oh, yes.
I'm looking at that This Is Us show on NBC because I like a show that has a lot of buzz. So I've been looking at that, and I watched that with my mom. It's like an easy show to look at. And then, of course, we always talk about Scream Queens. Are you watching Scream Queens?
Oh, I am. I actually just finished the new episode last night, very late at night. I thought, okay, after this, I'm going to bed. And I did make it through it. But you know what? I loved the first season very much. I'm not feeling the second season quite as much yet. But I have high hopes for it. I want to love it.
Yeah, I just love anything that's completely ridiculous. So, I go into watching that show knowing it's going to be a complete waste of time.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like a good show to, wash dishes. It's a good show to, I don't know.
Put your makeup on for the night.
For the night?
I'm looking when you're going out, Grant.
Oh, I don't do that
Grant
either.
has a day job.
I don't do that either, so.
Well, the one thing about Scream Queens is I remember first season, the Thanksgiving episode was phenomenal. So I'm going to hold out. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and keep watching through Thanksgiving and hope that it gets a little juicier. I love me some Laura Bell Bundy as well.
Oh, yes. I watched her on Guiding Light when she was a kid, the soap opera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Jumanji.
Yeah.
She was the original Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, the musical on Broadway.
Yeah. So. She has a huge following. So they put a lot of big names on that show. I don't know. I was surprised it got picked up. I was glad because we need more ridiculous TV. But we'll see what the future holds for
Scream Queens. Who knows? But I want to give a shout out to Blake V, who has been doing our voiceover now for the show. So there's a new sound and a new voiceover. I'm very excited. She's been excellent to work with, and I love the sound. It's a new take on the show, so I'm excited about that.
You know what? It's kind of a shame that you guys just get to hear Blake and not see her, because she's not only gorgeous, but she has a great fashion sense.
Yes.
So just when you're listening to that voiceover, just picture Blake very well dressed, saying that into a microphone.
Blake will be on the show for sure. I mean, Blake's been our most guested guest on the show, so it only made sense that she did the voiceover. She's great at what she does. And shout out to Howie Ronay for updating our logo that you can see everywhere, that anywhere on my social media platforms. I've really kind of been a little too heavy with it, but who cares? And it looks good, so thank you. And
it looks good. People are probably going, wait, Howie Ronay? We know a Ronay. Yes, that's Fern's hubby.
Well, for those who are familiar with Fern. Yes, and of course, the logo, I love that it's maintaining this Hollywood sign look. Now I'm going to try to make this into a transition, because the Hollywood sign was saved by Hugh Hefner. And fun fact for anyone really interested in Playboy history, not very
Guilty.
many. Really? But let's talk about Hugh. I'm just trying to transition to this topic because there's rumors that he is sick, deathly ill, and Kendra Wilkinson, who considers him to be her angel, gave an interview, I believe it was to People, and talked about how she recently saw him and they had a great conversation, but she didn't confirm nor deny his health. She just said, like, oh, we had a great chat, that was it. So I don't know. I mean, he's 91 years old.
Listen, this story is not about Hugh Hefner, who I love also.
Really?
This story is about Kendra Wilkinson and the fact that she's not a rocket scientist, let's put it that way, but she is media savvy, and she knows that people are talking about this, and any comments that she make about Hugh Hefner are going to make the news. Mm-hmm. So she basically said a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And we have no further information as to his health from this comment, from this artiticle.
No, not really.
But Kendra's got her name, her Google alerts popped right up when that got posted, and that's all she cares about. I shouldn't say that. I think she genuinely does appreciate Hugh Hefner and what he's done for her, and that she does genuinely have love for him. I don't have any insider dish as to his health and how it's doing.
Well, he's been very quiet about it, and
Exactly.
it's not, they obviously, for
That's a
many
bad
reasons,
sign.
they keep it out on the press. But she, like you said, looking for those Google alerts, she had to make a very dramatic statement. I wake up in the morning and I just pray that I don't see in social media that he has passed. Hugh Hefner took to Twitter, and he said on there that basically if the tabloid should have alerted me that I was sick and I would have canceled my weekend plans. So that was his way of kind of shooting that down. I don't know. I don't care about him.
He has spent a lot of time around a lot of young ladies, and he has some sass.
Yeah.
Anytime that he kind of refutes these rumors, it's always with something kind of a fun joke like that. And you know what? I can only think that if keeping that spirit with him alive is what's keeping him alive, then keep it going.
Look, I mean, he's 91 years old. I guess it wouldn't come as a shock if he drops dead, but I mean, who knows?
This is true. Let's not forget that he has a wife she's about our age. She's about 30.
She is 30. I had to Wikipedia that because I said, wait a minute. How old? Like, if she was in her 20s, I mean, I'm still giving it the side eye regardless. But I mean,
Crystal, well, I mean, this is the same wife who refused to marry him the first time. And then it went through. But she's dealt with her own health issues. Recently, she had her implants taken out. They were causing her a lot of issues. So, you know what? I just wish them both well and a healthy time that they can spend together for however much time they have.
Is Kendra still with Hank?
Kendra is still with Hank. They have had a second child. No really updates as to whether there's a new season of the show coming. I know she got moved to a new network. That is another one. And when I say guilty pleasure, listen, that's one that I can't even believe that I watch. I go, wait, Christy, you watch Kendra? I do watch Kendra.
I can't. That Kendra
she's trying to hold out.
No, I don't know. I can't with her. But I'm glad
she's
that
no other source of income, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
So she's going to continue to air whatever's going on in her life. All that stuff with Hank provided her for about 3 seasons worth. And we'll see if she'll be able to keep that interest going.
She's of the same group as Tori Spelling, just barely hanging on, just using whatever pain they can to continue to collect paycheck.
That's another one I'm guilty of watching that I can't believe
Really?
I
I can't with her. But let's talk about a real disaster. If anyone's been looking at the OC Housewives, They know that this new housewife, Kelly Dodd, who I basically warned everyone about before the show even started. This woman is we cover on AfterBuzz TV, the Real Housewives of Orange County after show. So I guess you could say we are pretty abreast of the situation.
We've been breaking this down. We've got in depth.
So this girl Kelly basically, she has an alcohol problem allegedly, but I mean, her actions say exactly what we're saying here basically. So she is mad that the women of the OC housewives are. She didn't expect them to subject their rage at her. This is someone who's been goading these ladies. She's been making comments directly behind their back so they will hear it. Like Tamra. She's estranged from her daughter. So what does she do? She walks behind her and says, "No wonder why your daughter won't talk to you." And then this one's mad. She's actually mad that the other women are taking their frustrations out on her. Mm-hmm. She then made fun of Heather Dubrow, which you never do.
Oh, hello.
You don't go after her.
Housewives 101.
She said Jewish people are supposed to be funny. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
And that's one of several borderline racist comments that she's made in the media.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she was introduced on the scene by saying she didn't know any black men and she wouldn't date any black men. That's how she was introduced.
In a TMZ video, right?
Yeah. So she is saying a lot. She said that when she go to Tamra to say, "Keep walking," that was supposed to be a joke, which it clearly didn't come across that way. And that's how this whole feud erupted into getting Tamra to actually hit her.
Yeah, so this all went down in the latest episode of Real Housewives of Orange County. And we didn't actually see the physical altercation go down. We hear it on the microphones, but they're inside the Louis Vuitton store. And listen, I've kind of gone back and forth, Team Kelly, Team everybody else. And I did feel a little bad for her at the beginning of the unraveling, where the ladies seemed to really be ganging up on her. But, these comments that came out recently where she's saying, "Oh, I didn't expect them to treat me this way and be so terrible to me." I think you should go into any reality show with zero expectations.
Yeah.
And if she thought that she wasn't going to become a scapegoat, or if she thought that even Vicky, her friend, wasn't going to turn on her when the opportunity arose, then she was wrong.
Right. I mean, she even cited Vicky as turning on her and that was the first time she was negative to me. She played the total victim in this interview. It was on realityt.com. Mm-hmm. And she takes no ownership. So the reunion, like I said, is going to be lit. I mean, I've been saying this all over social media. It's going to be really good.
I'm waiting. Yeah. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
We've been watching it counting down. We know they were shopping a couple weeks ago. This has to be going down soon.
They were shopping to get ready for it. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Vicky and this fool Kelly on one side versus the other three. Now, let's take a look at what's going on Twitter with these ladies. These ladies have been getting in trouble by the production company and Bravo, allegedly, for showing out almost weekly, getting back and forth with one another. So let's take a moment and see what's going on. I will be Kelly Dodd, and you can be Tamra in this quick exchange. So this happened on October 10th.
Okay, and Tamra tweets and she says, "What you didn't see was Kelly attacked me more in the bus and was screaming I was a bad mom." And then she says, at Kelly Dodd, "No, I slapped the phone out of his hand filming me." They're talking about a producer. And then Tamra says to Kelly, "God, you're a drunk."
Kelly says, "You didn't push the producer either, right, Tamra?" And then Kelly said, at Tamra Barney, because that's a very Christian thing to do.
Oh.
And then Kelly says, "Liar, liar, liar. That's why you apologize to me. Can't take the truth. You are sick."
And Tamra responds and says, "I apologize for pushing you. Please stop drinking so you remember things. Hashtag AA." Ellipses again.
Again. So she's alleging she already went to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, because there is some things in some court documents from years ago, from when Kelly and her now still husband were going through a divorce that they never pulled the trigger on, that indicate that Kelly has some alcohol problems. Yeah. There's more evidence of that. Just watch the show.
Yeah, interesting nonetheless. Let's turn our attention to something completely different out of the reality landscape, but a very real reality, though, for Selena Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
So she just checked herself into rehab, but Dr. Drew came on. I think it was definitely E! News, but I think it was like E! News Now or that live stream.
Okay, so that's their
online.
online.
Yeah, and so Dr. Drew said you can't call it rehab because it's technically a psychiatric facility. So, of course, when you're going to put out a press release, you're not going to say, like, my client is going to check herself into a psychiatric clinic. So they're going to say rehab is just so much more. Isn't that odd, though? It's so much more easily understandable that, oh, another celebrity making their way into rehab. You know,
this is not, it's not the first or even the second time that we've heard these reports in regards to Selena. And they always say, you know what, it's because of she has lupus or, you know, it's emotional issues. It's when she was going through things with Justin Bieber, they were saying, oh, she's taking care of personal health things. And we've also heard unsubstantiated reports that she's actually in rehab for rehab stuff back in the day. And you know what? I think at the end of the day, Selena Gomez is a smart girl. She wants to be able to be the right kind of role model and be the right kind of celebrity. And she's taking the steps to be able to do that. And I give her a lot of credit for that she's not afraid to take a step back. She's not afraid to get off Twitter or maybe take some days off. She's not worried about, oh, when they're not talking about me anymore. She wants to get healthy, and I can appreciate that. And I think that is a good example to set for young women.
Well, they went on to talk more about the lupus situation. And Dr. Drew said that when specifically young girls, or when you're younger, if you have a diagnosis of lupus, that you can die as early as your late 20s with something like that. He said it's very serious. So he's hoping that she's being a little dramatic with saying that she has it, but I don't think the girl is going to go around labeling her. So she came out with that long after she was diagnosed.
It's been years that we've heard of her having lupus.
It's unfortunate. It's a terrible thing. So I don't know. It's weird that nobody really can pinpoint exactly what it is, because then she's going in for depression, and she cut her tour short. I actually went to that tour. It was unexpected, but yeah, it was good. It was only like 6 weeks after that specific performance here at the Staples Center.
That's been a trend with her too, that it's been when she's on tour that she seems to, everything maybe catches up with her, or this isn't the first time we've heard that she's had problems while she was on tour. Another factor here is that she was very close to Christina Grimmie. Correct me if I'm wrong on the name. This is the young lady who was shot by a fan and killed a few months ago. And Selena's father was Christina's manager, and Selena was very close with her. So we know that she's dealing with kind of the fallout from that. And, you know, even so recently as a few weeks ago, she and Justin Bieber were going back and forth on Twitter. I mean, it's not easy to be Selena Gomez, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have to keep going back to that one.
Exactly. I mean, there must be at least 5 times a day when someone brings up Justin Bieber to her. Just people don't talk to you about your exes 5 times a day, right?
No, well, there's none to discuss. It's a short list. But let's talk about a long list, actually, an interesting list. Forbes put out a list of I love end of the year stuff. Look, we talk about on the show, like the Oprah's favorite things. That's probably one of my favorite things to discuss. That Goop gift guide, that jackass Gwyneth Paltrow put together. So this is actually a legit list. It's
Kiss
Forbes.
FM does the end of the year music mix.
Oh, it's going to be the same 6 songs. Drake, Rihanna, Sia, Drake, Sia. The same shit. But anyway, let's talk about Forbes and this list of deceased celebrities and their incomes so far this year. Now, we're just into October, but they're already saying that these people are just, you know, I mean, wait till you hear these numbers.
I was going to say, is this going to make me wish I was dead?
A little bit. Let's talk about it. Let's kind of go backwards. So on this list, classic Hollywood, Liz Taylor still making money from the grave. $8 million this year.
Whoa!
Oh, you think that's big? Just keep listening. That's quite, okay. First, the one name that really caught my attention, no one would ever guess. Albert Einstein is on the list. Now, you know, a lot of these people are like musicians mainly.
Yeah.
And there's a few actors, but this guy's on here. So, I mean, good for him. 11.5 mil.
You know what's surprising about
for a minute and a half.
Is that I always assume that a lot of this income is coming from merchandise sales, T-shirts, music, stuff like that. What the heck is Albert Einstein selling? Like what? Is it from the inventions? Like, does he have a royalty on like a light bulb or something?
I mean, the only thing I know that he has is the chalkboard.
Oh my God! If he's making 10 cents off of every chalkboard, we've got that explained.
But good for him. So Prince is on the list. He died this year in April, so he actually had time to make money when he was alive, and then since then,
right? But year of always gives you a big bump.
Yeah. Well, Elvis, long deceased. Elvis has made $27 million this year. Arnold Palmer, he just passed, but he was third place. Second place is Peanuts creator Charles Schwartz.
Charles Schwartz.
Yeah. So he's on here, and he made a good amount of money, $48 million.
That I can see.
A lot of
you
licensing.
see that stuff around.
Yeah, a lot of licensing. And they're still playing those specials. That Great Pumpkin will be on any minute. And then they'll have that Charlie Brown Christmas and all that. They always put them on like December 1st. But it's, you miss all that stuff. I'm not even thinking about that stuff when it comes out. But then again, am I really going to tune in to watch that at this point? Probably not.
You're probably not their number one audience.
No, I'm not in the demo. Well, what else is new? I can't watch anything I'm in demo for. So
I'm waiting for Maryland to pop up on this list, Grant.
Oh, Maryland wasn't on the list. Liz Taylor was. Interesting.
Oh, you know what? They're going at it from the grave, those two.
So Charles made 48. Good price, but nowhere near number one. Number one, Michael Jackson, $825 million in the last, 10 months? And a lot of that has to do with $750 million came from his estate, which I assume are like his kids. Right. They sold off the last half of the Beatles catalog to Sony that he had. So he sold off the first half for only $115 million in 1995.
That was a bad move.
Yeah.
Historically, people regard that as a bad financial move.
And so now 750, here we are later, all these years, and he's, so that attributes to a lot of $825 million that he's made in this year alone. So it's so interesting, especially like once they're gone, but they definitely live on. You can't kill some of these people. You can't get rid of them. So, yeah, I love the lists. I can't wait for more lists to come out. Who else do we think should have been on this? I'm trying to think. Bowie was on the list. And he died pretty recently. February, I think, too. Yeah, so.
Yeah, Maryland is the only real standout because, you just, anywhere you go, because I just live right in the middle of Hollywood, amongst all the souvenir stores, and mugs, hats, T-shirts, bottle openers, magnets, everything. I cannot believe that and I own half that stuff.
Yeah.
I just can't believe Maryland's on
her is, I wonder if she sold her likeness, her rights or whatever to a company, and they're capitalizing on it.
That could be.
If she doesn't have an estate. Which would be ridiculous, but people do those things. You never know. A quick paycheck. A lot of these people, they sell their names because someone's going to give them $50 million when they could make $5 billion. It's ridiculous.
Because again, they're going to kick off, and someone else is going to be making that money, and you might as well. Lucille Ball is another one. I know she's not typically on these lists, but she sells so many DVD sets and that kind of a thing from back in the day, and just the royalties. And the fact that they owned the production company that made that show, and she was kind of a pioneer in that regard. I'm always surprised also, too, did not see her on the list.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder, where, someone like Steve Jobs falls after they pass.
Oh, yeah.
That's on the tech side, because that's a new thing. We're talking about a lot of old people on here. Arnold Palmer, you know what I mean? So now with all this new tech money, where do you fall? I know it's all caught up in business, but, you have to, he still had, I'm sure, a very handsome bank account.
We could assume.
And it's not like Apple's getting ready to close their doors. So, so it'll be interesting.
No, they're just screwing with all our phones, so we have to buy new ones. Hey, Apple.
Not happening. I don't care about that piece missing at the bottom.
Oh, Lord.
No, lack thereof. I don't care. But, we'll be back in a moment, and we've got a lot more to talk about on the show. We're going to catch up more with Christy, and we're going to talk about the crazy money people are making now in television. Those big budgets are coming at you in a bit.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Please rate, subscribe, and share. Spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Watch live on Bidchat and listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
This is a podcast, of course, and I do a lot of editing. And I hope that people never pick up on that, because I try to tighten things up and, clean things up and censor people. And it's a lot of work. But this is straight up live, so it's a completely different experience, I'm sure, for people listening. So I hope that you're getting as much out of it as we are. It's totally a different feel for me not to have headphones on. We're coming from AfterBuzz, where we always have these big headphones on, it's getting hot, and our little B microphone.
There's a whole hair issue with the headphones. You guys cannot even imagine how difficult it is to be a podcaster.
Oh God. No, it's all good, and we're so glad to have you here. You're watching Grant's Rants. If you have not heard or seen our recent middle vid show bumper, And it will be here on Thursdays live at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So it's one show going live at 7 p.m. Pacific. Different guest co-host every week. So it's a fresh perspective, and we're going to profile them as well. We're going to catch up, learn a little bit more, dig a little deeper, and it's really going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we want to hear from you, so you can feel free to call in. I mean, look, the money goes to charity, so I mean, it's a good thing for a good cause, and we want to know your thoughts and opinions on this too. So as you get to know us a little bit more on this platform, we want to get to know you as well. You guys can reach out to me on Twitter too at Grants__Rants. But now let's take a look at the big money that's coming out of television. Network TV.
Where is it? Where do I get it?
I know. Network TV. I mean, everyone's like, oh, it's over. No one's interested. It's all about SVOD and Netflix and all that stuff. But I mean, look.
ABC, hello.
Well, yeah. And
Shonda Rhimes, hello.
Yeah, well, CBS, hello, too.
CBS.
So, popular show for reasons I do not quite understand. But The Big Bang Theory is a huge show for CBS. Do you watch that show?
I do watch Big Bang.
You do?
I do, because I got in the very beginning, and it's one that, you know what? I'm remembering this now. My parents got me into The Big Bang Theory one Christmas. They've kind of made me catch up and love it. And it's just fun. It's another one of those, it's 22 minutes out of your life, and it's good. Who cares? You know, you might as well watch. I'm kind of surprised that you're not a fan.
No.
It's funny. It's funny, but astronomically, the actors are making the biggest money on this show.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to talk about?
Yeah.
That's pretty much all there is. It's a good show. Watch it, whatever. But that's the sticking point here.
I mean, look, she said it, 22 minutes, 24 episode order, because of course they're going to go for the max. And to do these shows, which are, multi-camera, notoriously cheap. So multi-camera is what these old school sitcoms look like Friends, Seinfeld, or,
Lucy started it.
Yeah. So like very cheap shows to produce in comparison to the single camera shows, which would be more like a Modern Family, The Middle. So, the money these networks make on these shows is outrageous to begin with. But the money the actors make is even more crazy for 22 minutes, which they're not even on for all that time. So Jim Parsons and Kaylee Cuoco make $1 million each to do the show.
Episode?
Per episode. Yeah.
Dude, that's
times
Friends.
24
That's Friends status.
Yeah. I mean, they can demand it because it does well for them, but it's like very hard to wrap my mind around.
Right? And this is one of those things, any actor would be happy to be on a show that's on its 9th, 10th season. Or just a show at all, and to have a contract. But I don't want to say get lucky, because I'm sure they've all worked hard, but there's a lot of shows out there that are good that a lot of people watch. Right. To get on the one where the actors are making $1 million, and it's only Kaylee, Jim, and the guy who plays Leonard,
that other one,
who are making that big.
Yeah.
Everybody else falls quite short of that, the other male supporting cast and the females as well. But that's crazy.
Well, it sounds like a lot, but believe it or not, the whole show itself has made $1 billion in syndication alone. That doesn't count for ad sales for the network. Ooh. So when it airs live, they said that there's something like they charge CBS when it is live, and there's a new episode of Big Bang on CBS, and they charge $350,000 for a 30-second ad, and it's only a half-hour show. So, yeah, I mean, they've got a really good thing going. Of course, now contracts are coming up over there, and it's like, how much further can we push it?
They're done. They're done. They're done. These actors are not greedy people. Kaylee and Jim, and my gosh, I've even met that guy. What the heck is his name? He plays Leonard.
I would know.
But they're not the greedy types. They're not in this for the money. I feel like they're going to shut this down. It's going to be season 10. They got their big payday. I think they're going to say, let's go out on top, Friends style, and that will be the end of it.
Oh, interesting.
That's just my
I thought you were
guess.
thinking maybe the end of negotiations, but you're saying the end of the whole program.
I think they're going to be done. Yeah.
I don't watch the show, but correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that Kaylee Cuoco is only on for maybe like 6 minutes of airtime. I heard she's not really involved.
No, she's still a main character. For sure. She's still there. Right. Yeah.
Well, she's earning her money in 22 minutes. Good for her. Good for her.
Well, there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors that the rest of the cast doesn't get along with her, and there's been some shade thrown from a lot of sides on that. And let's not forget either that she and again, the guy who plays Leonard. Oh my God. Had a relationship for a long time.
Oh, really?
And,
See, I don't watch.
mean,
I don't know. Yeah.
There's things going on behind the scenes there that we will never know about.
Right. No.
Because everybody's making too much money to jeopardize it and speak.
Yeah. But it's just in this culture of everyone not paying attention to network TV, especially sitcoms, struggling as much as they are. Now it's a little bit better. I mean, if you watch, I said this on the show before, but if you watch ABC, it's all, all the comedies are honing in on these underrepresented groups. You've got the disabled sitcom.
Fresh off the boat.
The Asian one, the Blackish show. I mean, good thing, CBS makes these multi-camera shows work, which do not really work anywhere else. I mean, that Carmichael show was opened up well for NBC, but I don't even know if that show got past the season 2.
I mean, I never watched it.
No.
And I watch everything, clearly.
Well, another show that's pretty dirt cheap to produce, and people don't count her in when they think of big TV, but Judge Judy is also pulling in big money. She's the queen of daytime. Now,
people don't realize this.
Yeah, no, she's got the #1 show on daytime, although it's switched. They like to say that jackass Dr. Phil has that #1 position. Maybe he's the #1 talk show, but I'm not giving him any #1 spot. I can't with him.
It's another one that I still watch. Why do I watch these shows?
You're still looking at that. My grandmother watches Dr. Phil, and I warn her, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Granny.
What are you doing watching that? But I do watch Judge Judy, though, because I probably should.
She's a genius.
Well, yeah, and someone uploads, I think they're like a couple years old, that someone uploads all the episodes on YouTube. So they just go through, and it's very helpful.
Another smart person.
It's very helpful when you're like, you know what? I really don't know what to watch. I have 800 things to do, but I don't want to sit in silence.
Yeah.
So it's it's from 2004, and someone's arguing about a car accident happened in 2002, but I'll look at it because I like her. But so long story, let's get to the money though.
Oh.
She makes $47 million annually. Good for her. And she's in her 21st season, so the money just keeps going up. She's got over 10.3 million viewers a day, daytime TV.
Well, wait, 10 million viewers?
Yeah.
Nobody gets that.
No, not even the young and the restless
that you hear about.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's definitely, especially her and CBS syndication, Bird, the bailiff guy who doesn't say 2 words, he makes $1 million a year. Yeah.
Hey, I'll wear that suit.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Please.
He literally doesn't do anything. He literally, I think I saw him once, put his arm up when they were someone was leaving the courtroom because someone was a little aggressive.
Yeah.
So, good for him, Bird. And they shoot 260 episodes a year. All right, so that sounds like a lot.
Okay, but so that it does sound like a lot.
Yeah,
and
260
that may be
episodes, but it's only out of 52 days out of the year. Not 50, they don't film 52 weeks. That's like a soap opera, obviously. But 52 days, no wonder why Judge Judy's always on vacation. I don't know if you follow her or whatever.
TMZ always has her coming and going from the airport. Yeah.
So, and she doesn't even really live in LA full time. She's more of an East Coast chick.
Yeah.
So, to do that for 52 days, just to buckle down and just churn out those episodes. She never has to retire because they could wheel her behind that podium.
And they will when the time comes.
She can wear sweatpants as long as that little white doily is showing up from the black gob. She'll be all right. She'll be all right.
And she's still, she's writing the books. I know she makes a lot of money off those as well. Yeah. And she's a smart chick.
She's a fantastic guest on a talk show. She was on Colbert and she was great. This goes back a couple of months. But she knows her stuff and she's never afraid to speak her mind, even in a fun setting, on the talk shows and stuff like that. They don't put her on enough. If you notice, she doesn't really do the circuit that much.
No, I guess she doesn't have to.
Yeah. I love her. What can I say?
We all better hope she doesn't start working the promo circuit because with 10 million people already watching, if she gets promotion, then every single person will be watching. No one watch us.
Do you ever look at Hot Bench? The other one, she was EP on that or whatever. She produces it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that, but I know that does pretty well too. Mm-hmm. So,
and that's where the big bucks are too. When you've created the series, when you're the EP, that's where you're really raking in the dough.
Yeah, I just get such a kick out of that show. It's So who was it? Kathy Griffin said it's porn for old people. I don't know if I would go that far. It's an easy watch.
Whatever happened? That is the first time someone has said Kathy Griffin's name in a pop culture reference in 3 years.
Yeah, where is she? I'm a big fan, but I know she had a book that came out. But
Yeah.
I didn't see her. Maybe she did like the talk, but I mean, I didn't see her do anything.
I liked her reality show. I liked when she had comedy specials on Bravo. She had her own late night show, right, for a while. That wasn't terrible.
She had a late night show on Bravo.
I mean, she was so hot for so long, and now just nothing.
Yeah, well, there was the fashion police situation that kind of cooled everyone down from her. She hasn't really recovered on television since, which is unfortunate.
Right.
But I always said with Kathy Griffin that she is a little too small to hold on to a TV spot. She would do great on a show like The Talk, you know?
As part of a panel,
As part of a panel, yeah. But to be there on her own, she's just a little too small to maintain that platform, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, I like her, but...
I think you're right.
You know, what can you do? She's not Joan. Don't try to... You know what I mean? Like, all these people who thought she was going to be the new Joan.
She tried.
Yeah, but, you know, whatever. Other big money in TV, of course, no surprise, Game of Thrones... Peter Dinklage and Lena, they make $500K per episode. Again, HBO money, not as surprising. I was more surprised by the network stuff because they were always pretending that they're dead, you know. But, you know, with HBO, I mean, just, I guess, kind of name your price when you're on Game of Thrones.
Well, and just to latch on to Peter Dinklage there, I know that he worked his tiny butt off. He did the off-Broadway shows in New York for years and got no recognition and no money. And that's a situation. I mean, you know, you're Kelly Cuoco's and you're even Leonard, who was on Blossom. Yeah, sorry. Who was on Blossom when he was a kid. I mean, they've all grown up expecting to make this kind of money. But in a Game of Thrones situation and someone like Peter Dinklage, I like to hear that. That doesn't make me go, oh, geez, that's a lot of money. That makes me go, oh, yay for Peter Dinklage. He deserves it. No, and I've never seen one episode of that show.
Well, you know, I don't have HBO, and I don't have HBO Go because I don't need another bill. And I'm missing out on a lot. And I dropped so many hints, and no one will give me their HBO Go password.
Hello? Come on.
I mean,
He'll probably give you a shout out on Rants on Bidchat.
Oh, just come on, and we'll talk about it. I can talk about the show. You know, no, so I need to get on that. I know. But I don't need, you know what it is? I just don't need another bill. Like I have that Apple Music, and that's like my big expense. I mean, it's literally $10 a month, but that's like a luxury item. You know what I mean?
Spotify is $8.99.
Yeah. Well, now Amazon announced today that they're coming out with theirs. But if you have Amazon Prime, it's like $8 a month, and then if you don't, it's $10 a month.
And you know what? I accidentally do have Amazon Prime from another thing they made me sign up for that I never canceled. I mean, the whole thing is just they're taking money automatically out of your account every month and you don't notice. Exactly. That's all it is.
Exactly. Well, welcome to the world of SVOD and all that. Yeah. I know. That's why I'm just like so like hesitant to do anything like that because I just don't need it. I don't need something else to pay. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about more people who could just buy whatever they want. Oh. So the Gilmore Girls, this show, I've never watched it. To me, it just seems like such a basic show. And there goes half the people watching. People love that show. I just can't with that.
I mean, you know what? It was super basic. But in that day and age, there wasn't a lot of other basic stuff. It was the best we had about 15 years ago, 20 maybe even, really. I didn't watch the whole series. I watched the first few seasons, but I know people are so
people love it.
For this reboot on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think their jaws are going to drop when you tell them how much these ladies are making.
Well, they make an estimated $750,000 per episode. Not just for a deal.
Per episode.
Yeah, not just like
it's 4 episodes. It's going to be 4 long episodes.
Per actress, not together either.
No, so we're talking Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham.
Correct.
Mom and daughter. And again, so it's 4 episodes, fall, spring, summer, whatever, whatever the seasons are, 4 long episodes. And they've been shooting for quite a while already. And the other players that they've signed on to this, maybe this is a factor, are the small people. Melissa McCarthy did not come back as
I thought she was supposed to, but I guess
at first they said no, and then maybe yes. But you know, Alexis and Lauren's paycheck is the number one kind of expense for this show.
Right.
So that's where it all went. Apparently, though, the sets are beautiful and it's going to be a very good look to the show as well. But I think that's where their budget went. And Netflix has the money.
Oh, yeah. They're the ones that do it. And these ladies are right.
I mean, look how big Fuller House has become.
I know.
It's insane. It's insane. And
the show itself,
I love
the show itself isn't even that great. But
No, it's not. And yet I still sat and watched it in about 2 days in one weekend with my husband.
But I mean, I still watched every episode.
I mean, there's something to that nostalgia thing that makes Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham worth $750 per episode. And again, so it's only 4 episodes. So what is that? What's 4 times 750 grand, y'all?
Too much. I don't know. Too much, but good for them. Nevertheless, I mean, it's a huge show for them. So I mean, I missed the boat on that. Like I'm missing the boat on by not having HBO Go.
Yeah,
you know, it's the same situation, just in present day. But let's talk to Christy a little bit more, and I want to hear about some insider info on who she's seeing on these carpets, any interesting run-ins, and what have you been working on? I want to catch up with you because it really has been a while.
It has been a while, and there have been some changes with me. And I know last time we talked, I talked a little bit about I've done a million bajillion red carpets here in Hollywood.
Yes.
And when I say that, that's not nearly as glamorous as it sounds because, you know, a lot of these events, I'm not talking movie premieres. I'm not talking the Oscars every night. I'm talking about a record release party, a film no one is maybe ever going to see that's not in a theater.
Like a charity
premiere party.
Yeah.
Lots of charities, lots and lots of charities, balls, things like that. And a lot of the times the people that walk up to you, that walk on these carpets, you maybe don't even know their name. You don't know where they're from. You don't know what they want to promote. And I've spent a lot of time out there just kind of trying to grab those stars, trying to find anything that people would find interesting about someone who's a newbie. And I haven't done a lot of that lately, to be incredibly honest with you. I had a great red carpet at the Pantages Theater here in LA. And that one always brings out, it was the premiere of their new show. And that one always brings out a lot of guests. And
what show was that? I remember you posting that on your Instagram.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up. You can find her on Instagram at Christy Reports.
Yes, and if you just go to youtube.com/Christy Reports, all of my red carpet videos are there. And it's the things that go down in the moments with these people that is really what I think what everyone wants to hear about. So at that one in particular, like Lisa Vanderpump, it kind of is. Yeah. She's one who's always running down the carpet. She acts like she doesn't want that photo op. She acts like she doesn't want me to ask her the juicy questions. I'll play that game with her. I'll let her run away from me. I will chase her down. Literally, if you watch this video, if you bring it up, she is stepping away from me as I try to ask her about Yolanda Hadid. And I just kind of walked after her politely. Listen, I've got no shame in this realm anymore.
Yeah,
that's my job, is to get answers out of these people. And in my opinion, if you are showing up to a photo op, you're showing up to a red carpet, you're there for free, you didn't pay for tickets, you are there to get your picture taken. I know that. You're there to get publicity for whatever, for Vanderpump Rules, for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, whatever it is. And if part of your game is acting like you don't want to be there, let's play the game.
Yeah. Oh,
let's do it. Walk away from me, but not fast enough where I can still ask you questions and chase you. Yeah. Let's do it.
I saw the video where she made a couple steps and you kept going. And then I love how they have to get out of it. Like, it's like, what? If you didn't want to do press, don't do the carpet. There are many ways into these places.
Exactly.
It's not, you are set up beforehand. Mm-hmm. There's a list. Your little picture is on a sheet. Mm-hmm. People know that you're coming. So it should be no surprise when they're going to ask you about the 2 shows that you have on Bravo, which you should be promoting anyway. I mean, I'll promote this show, and people can ask me anything. You know what I mean?
I will chase you down the red carpet, Grant. I will chase you.
No need.
No, but I mean, that's kind of, I think, what people don't maybe realize about these red carpet things is that the folks that are walking the red carpets are there because they want to promote something. They want to talk to me about whatever it is. And they know they're going to have to endure a couple personal questions to make it juicy because no one really does care about their latest movie or their latest charity project or whatever it is. I used to work at a huge entertainment network, and my EP, my boss there, would say, nobody cares about this charity crap. Nobody cares what the celebrities are doing. No one cares that it's, I love animals, but no one cares that it's the Hero Dog Awards or whatever it is. They want to hear the juice, So I try to give the juice while still giving a little promo to the event and the people. And I mean, there's an art to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to be very quick. We did a red carpet together at SUR. And, you've got people that you do not really know. Perhaps like there's one girl who was on Empire. Now, you don't watch Empire, do I assume you don't? Or do? Yeah, but I mean, they're still coming down. You want to get something. So you ask about the event, but you have to, you're very quick and you have to be. And you're very smart with what you ask. at least to get them on camera, even if it's for 3 minutes, 2 minutes. But I mean, you have to pretend that you know who these people are. And
exactly. And try to figure out what other people latch onto about them. So like, there was one young lady at that premiere that I remember, and she's from The Flash. So a huge show on the CW. It's a superhero-based show, but I don't know anything about it. But I know she looks good, and this is a superhero theme. So people must be into her figure and what is she wearing and this and that. So I asked her about how do you maintain your bikini body and diet, exercise, things like that. And that tracked very well. You just have to kind of figure out, look at someone and take your 2 seconds and go, what is everyone else interested in about this person? And go there with them. And they're usually willing to do that too, because they know they want everyone to be interested.
Yeah. So you talked about it once before on the show, but describe your most popular video on your YouTube channel. A lot of views, a lot of buzz behind that video.
Yeah, I love to talk about this because so my channel has got almost about 2 million hits total, and over almost, I think, 300,000 of them are from this one video with a young lady who is an absolute unknown. No one knows her. No one is searching for her name. No one knows who she is, but she's fantastic. And she was a student of Abby Lee Miller, who is the dance teacher on Dance Moms.
Is she in jail?
She's not in jail yet, but she's going. She is headed there. Oh, yes. It's finally happening. She's taking her last vacays. It's going down. And she's had other lawsuits that involve the way that she's treated her students. And so when one of those came out about a year and a half ago, I encountered this young lady on the carpet. And again, not knowing who she is, asking her, why are you here? It was a web series. Oh, I'm on a web series. I used to be a dancer. Oh, you used to be a dancer? You know what? I love that show, Dance Moms. And she went, oh, Dance Moms? I used to dance for Abby Lee Miller. And I went, oh, here we go.
Okay. See? Very smart.
Here we go. Yes. And just asked her, about her experience with the way that Abby treated her and about some of the allegations that Abby was dealing with. And she laid it out and she said, oh, I would be nowhere without this woman, and kind of offered a different perspective than people were hearing in the media. And again, like you say, I mean, that's my biggest tracking video. And man, that Abby Lee Miller and those Dance Moms girls, they've got some eyes on them, and I appreciate that. Yeah. So there was that one. And then another video that's almost right there too is I got the cast of Girl Meets World.
Oh, yeah.
A year and a half before the show even started airing, when they first cast it. And really even one of the characters didn't make it into the actual show. But these are kids who at the time were 11 years old. They're now in their mid-teens, and people know them and know them now. But for years, that was the only interview with them on the internet. Was my interview with them. And before the show even aired, them talking about what the show would be. And so I kind of latched onto that because I'm a big Boy Meets World fan, and I was excited about Girl Meets World. And I think that came across too in the video. And that's another one that, because there was nothing else about them on the internet, that one's almost up there too with 250,000 views. So again, that's those I don't want to call them nobodies because that sounds rude, but people that aren't necessarily notable. And you just have to know what you're doing out there.
You've kind of done a few other things. I know that you've been traveling. What else can you talk about?
Well, I've made this foray sort of into sports entertainment. And I'm not an athlete. I'm not a sports fan, but I'm a pro wrestling fan. And so I've kind of delved into that a little bit through Total Divas and through covering Nikki, Bella, and all of them on AfterBuzz TV. And so that has brought about some travel. I do backstage interviews at wrestling shows. So people who don't know what that means, maybe you watch WWE and you see a Renee Young backstage with these guys. When they're done with a match, I'm standing next to them sweaty. I've done even angles with the guys where they attack me ringside when I'm doing a ringside report.
Oh, really?
And pull me to the floor by my hair, and I have to be taught how to be pulled into the ring by my hair, and it's getting physical, and I love to be a part of the storyline like that. Yeah. And it's something that it's not really that removed from pop culture and entertainment reality TV.
No, it isn't. It's
when
very
you think
relevant.
about it.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new thing for me, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's great. Something new. And definitely perfect for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get excited when I see videos on social media, and again, we'll talk where you can find Christy online, but she's wide shot. Christy's standing in the middle of the ring, introducing who's coming out, just getting people amped up, it's going down tonight. It's great to see because again, I'm such a fan. So,
and I'm all about that drama.
Yeah, you
all
are.
About it.
You are. So I'm sure you ask these wrestlers, you get to the brass tacks of what they're coming to accomplish and all that. Now, is it mainly post-fight or pre-fight? Like, how does it all work?
Usually it's actually beforehand.
Okay.
So that's where we really were telling the story. A lot of the part of pro wrestling is different from other sports in that it is scripted. It's not fake, but it is scripted. And so they have a story that they're trying to get across, the good guy versus the bad guy or the underdog, or, there's always something for the fans to latch onto. So part of my pre-interviews with them is, so you're really angry about what he did to you last time. And that's given you this fire and you're going to overcome that in this match, right? So there's a lot of psychology involved in it that I think people don't really notice.
Yeah. And is there a lot of research? I would assume you'd have to know the backstory to a lot of these guys.
Oh yeah, I have to know what's gone on in the past between the two, a lot about their characters. And I sit and I watch a lot of wrestling. Yeah. I do, and I don't mind it.
That's great. I mean, you seem so happy talking about it. There's a definite new energy here. I can feel it, Yeah.
In pop culture and working as an entertainment reporter, I love that. I do. And that was what I always wanted to do as a child. But there's a lot of people working in that world. Yeah. And I can embrace that. But at the same time, in pro wrestling, there's not a lot of females who are into it, who know about it, who have done the research and have been watching since they were kids like I have. And so I love to be unique. So if I can be that unique perspective that comes and kind of knows what they're talking about in that realm, I appreciate that. Yeah. So it's fun. It's just fun.
Yeah. So what else are you working on? Anything you want to promote? I know we've been doing OC Housewives on AfterBuzz, which is a total left turn from wrestling. Although maybe not so
so much sometimes. There's a tag team whose kind of gimmick is they go who, and they had a big segment one night on WWE Raw where they did that. It was the same night where Kelly and Shannon had their falling out at the 70s party. And Kelly was going, who? Yeah. And I'm like, are there other fans who are watching both of these things who kind of see the resemblance and see Kelly going, who?
Two worlds collide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, if there are any other dual fans out there, Housewives and WWE, please hit me up because I love you guys.
It's a winning combination.
It is.
Sure. But you'd be surprised. I mean, I love my followers. I mean, they watch everything from the soaps that I grew up on to these crazy reality shows, old movies that I tweet about and all this stuff. I mean, people are very eclectic. If they're in it and they're in this world of watching and they're real content consumers, they're very,
they're
they watch a lot. Yeah. I mean, I have a hard time keeping up, but I have to keep up with the show. So,
and I do love keeping up with all the fans. So I do on AfterBuzz TV also the Total Bellas after show, WWE SmackDown after show. I am on a show with, if you guys are into this pro wrestling thing, Sean X-Pac Waltman just started his own show on AfterBuzz TV, and I'm his co-host. We call that X-Pac 12360. We have all of the old legends from WWE, names that people in that realm would drop their jaws at, that we get interviews with. So I would love if everybody would check that out. And,
that's big. Good for you. Congratulations. Yeah.
I mean, so ChristyReports.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChristyReports. There's a lot of good, juicy reality TV breaking news there. In all honesty, a lot of it's not as current as it was for a long time because I'm doing this pro wrestling
You're busy.
now.
You're working. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go back, I mean, I've got, Gretchen and Heather and all the ladies from back in the day, and I would appreciate it if you guys would go and check it out.
Yeah, I mean, just scroll through. I'm sure you'll find someone you're interested to hear about.
The Vanderpump Rules kids I run into all the time. They love me.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Stassi literally told me, she was like, we watch your interviews with the other cast members that we don't like, and we laugh at what they're saying, and we send it around a group text, and so I still have one foot in that world too.
Yes, perfect.
Keep an eye out.
Well, you guys can find me, of course, over on Twitter at Grants__rants. Thank you to all of the viewers that we've had in this live show. We hope to keep our numbers up. So
wow.
Please feel free to call in the coming episodes. Again, we'll be back on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Christy, thank you for coming on in.
This was so much fun.
We talked about a lot of stuff. And we appreciate you joining us. So
congratulations to you, Grant, on all of this.
Thank you.
The fans love you. We're all happy for you. And this is going to be so good.
It's been a big hustle. Thank you.
We'll see you then next time, right?
We'll be back. And cheers for that.
This has been Grants Rants. Follow us on Twitter at Grants__Rants. Cover art created by Howie Ronay. Voiceover by Blake B. Media. Original theme music composed by Alexander Arnson.